entertained.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Are You Not Entertained podcast, and we got some juicy topics. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. Yo, I'm not even joking. Pragmata might be the weirdest, most unique demo I've played in a long time because this is not your typical shooter. It's not a normal sci-fi game. It's like Capcom dropped you in a mystery that you don't fully understand. And that's what makes it so crazy. The atmosphere is unsettling, the gameplay feels different, and every single moment I was thinking, what is this game actually about? And why does it feel so important? Pragmata is finally real, and we have a lot to discuss. So, after playing the demo, I get why people have been obsessed with this game for years. Pragmata feels like a mix of sci-fi, survival, psychological mystery, and experimental gameplay. And honestly, nothing else on PlayStation or any platform really feels like it in today's age that I can think of. There's nothing similar on the market that I can really be like, okay, that's its counterpart. And the gameplay isn't just shooting enemies, it's about movement, strategy, and figuring out what's even happening in this strange world. Capcom is clearly going for something different here. Like, this could be their next big cult classic or their next massive breakout. And the biggest thing is this demo didn't answer your question. It created more. So the real question is Pragmata about to become one of the most unforgettable games or one of the strangest risks Capcom has ever taken? Let's talk about it. All right, so I played the demo and my cousin played the demo. So I want to just point out like 5 main things that I kind of took I took from the demo. Pragmata feels completely different from anything in gaming right now. This isn't a normal shooter or action game. It's weird and it's like I said, it's experimental and instantly stands out from anything else on the market. The atmosphere is pure sci-fi mystery. The world feels eerie, quiet, unsettling, like something is wrong the entire time. Gameplay is more tactical than I was expecting, honestly. It's not run and gun chaos. The demo feels a little slower, strategic, and system based. But will the puzzle based style of the gaming get boring after a few hours of playing? That was kind of my concerns while playing it. Now, I'm going to be transparent. It takes me a while to adjust my playstyle. Coming from Arc Raiders to this is completely different. It just took me a while to get used to, like, hey, every time you pop a couple shots, it's a puzzle. Pop a couple shots is a puzzle. Hey, she's calling out things. Hey, jump right now, dodge right here. So it took me some time to adjust to that while I was playing the demo. So that's just one of the biggest concerns I have with the game so far. Will that get a little boring and repetitive and kind of annoying to me? To somebody like me, like popping a couple of shots, getting a puzzle, and some of these puzzles you gotta be, hey, you gotta pop it out. When you see the little shit, you gotta do the puzzle, or it really does open you up to a lot of damage. So completely different feel from going, like I said, from Arc Raiders to this. Capcom is clearly taking a big risk with Pragmata. This is a brand new type of IP for them. Not Resident Evil, not Monster Hunter, something totally different. The demo hooks you with, like I said, a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. Actually, I don't think they really answer anything that outside that the game is fucking gorgeous. It looked good. So instead of explaining everything, it leaves you thinking, what is this world? What is Pragmata really about? And I kind of feel like that is the job of a demo, to draw you in and probably not answer everything, kind of point out and hints at. But that was kind of my main takeaways from the demo and my impressions of the demo. I am very much intrigued. Like I said, I do have that kind of concern about, will the puzzle shit get annoying for someone like me? Now, I'm not saying puzzle is in like probably a lot of aspects in games, but they kind of hide it in the background. It's not like in its forefront like it is in Pragmata. It's very much in your face. Hey, puzzle. Hey, puzzle. And I'm not saying that it keeps you on your toes, but like I said, will it get repetitive and will it get boring and annoying? That's my only concern from the demo. It didn't answer a lot of my questions. It actually made me have more questions about the world, about the girl, you, and the dynamic between you and the girl. But that was my impressions, and I'll turn it over to my cousin so he can give his.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get straight into it. You all know I love me some good old third person shooting. It's one of my comforts, just like
Ah,
zombie games.
he'll do something
But
strange for a small piece of change for.
I will, but I'll get this out the way. I enjoyed the beta. I have played it a few times. I do like it. It is a very beautiful, very detailed
Yeah,
game,
it looked good.
down to the minute details
Even his
of the
crotch
suit,
area is
the little
detailed. I'm like,
girl's
God
hair,
damn.
the jacket she's wearing, everything. Even the robots or whatever the hell they're called. There
Yeah.
are very highly stylized art direction. I enjoy the combat. It's a little off. It does take a minute to get used to, and I enjoy how instead of you using when you're aiming down, instead of using the right stick to navigate, right stick still aims. You use the face button. That's
Triangle,
I
X,
like
square.
I liked that little forward thinking of trying something different. And then now full disclosure give this. I hate puzzles in video games. I despise them to the high heavens. I am like,
Zelda
why is this
trauma
here?
gave him trauma.
This is making me think in a sense. I don't want to think. That's why I'm playing a video game. Just give me
Wind
something to
Waker
point click
boy.
and shoot at.
Wind Waker trauma.
Yeah. Oof. We're gonna talk about that. But this game, and I remember someone pointing out, the puzzles are seconds. It is truly, truly like that. And then I remember in one of the interviews they were saying, "Hey, if you don't want to engage in the puzzle, you ain't got to. It's gonna take you longer to dispatch one of these things, especially one of the bosses. But it is by choice if you choose to play the game as intended or go on your own." Now, another one, the movement. I did feel some type of way about this. He moved kind of slow and sluggish, like more slower than what I am accustomed or used to. At the
I
same
felt that
time,
that was by design though.
yeah, I believe that's by design. That's not a just,
That is fuck
he
ups
just
or
moves slow because of, whether it be graphics or whatever, but that is by design. And, okay, I get that. That is cool. That is totally cool in my book. No problem with that. It just, hey, it's a different game. It took an adjustment period to get used to. No biggie. What sold me was once I got the controls down and once I got through that boss fight. That boss fight was really making me think, so I just do this puzzle and shoot his glowing bits? Oh, okay, well, how fast will that get old? Oh, do this quick little puzzle, shoot a
Oh,
glowing
so
bit.
you had the same concerns as I did.
Yeah, you just do this quick little puzzle, open them up, shoot the glowy bits. That boss fight, no. You really need to kind of put a little bit more effort into it, and then that's where
Tactical.
difficulty options come from.
Yeah, that's where that
Yeah,
tactical shit came
they
in.
gave you that whatever static thing, shoot that thing in place, do the puzzle, it lights them up, but then also probably some people didn't know that thing had a big ass battery on its back. If you
Yeah.
moved around the arena a little bit more, you didn't have to just be boring with taking that thing out. You had options.
Tactical strategy.
And I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I was like, oh, okay. All right. And like I said, I played it multiple times. Played the first night, came out, the next day, played it 2 more times. I truly enjoyed it. And Capcom right now, let me just say, Capcom is on a roll. Whether it's the Monster Hunter, the Resident Evil, they're on a roll right now. Them and that RE engine. They're doing it. So once again, Infamous has to say this. In an era of remakes and remasters, you have a studio that not only is pushing boundaries of their own games, they're still making new IPs. They're trying something new because they didn't have to make this. This is something new. I'm all
Really
for it.
outside the
Now,
box, yeah.
yeah, now, like I said, ain't all sunshine and roses. The reload and the shooting mechanics.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is not
yeah.
it's not as quick and fast on the trigger like you think. But once again, hey,
Yeah.
that's the dynamics of the game design.
That took
It took me a
yeah.
minute to realize that hidden square was not reloading my damn gun. Man, I was like, yo, why does that scanner thing keep happening? You don't have ammo in the game. You make the shot,
Yeah.
and then it kind of, even though it
The
says it's reloading, it's really recharging your
yeah.
shots. And you go
That
from there. I mean,
yeah.
besides the bigger gun, the static thing, that took
Yeah.
ammo. That little pea shooter, the pistol, and whatnot, that I'm assuming that's your main bread and butter gun. I was like, oh, I'm steady scanning and I'm not reloading. That's an adjustment, but I stuck with it. I still kept playing because, baby, this game looked too good to just write off so willy nilly, so easily. But I enjoyed it. Now, day one, Absolutely not. We don't believe in day one purchases
Yeah,
around here. We don't
yeah,
believe in those.
yeah,
Companies
we
need to
got
earn your money.
yeah.
Now, Infamous ain't saying, I'm gonna do my tried and true, wait God knows how long, and then sell, sell, sell. But hey, if the reviews come out, it's looking nice. Hey, we will take it into consideration. Like I said, day one, no game is worth day one. That's just my
Yeah,
opinion. In an
yeah,
age where everything is not what it seems.
and you get
But
burnt
I
so
am
easily, and they
so
lie.
easily. The PS5 generation is you burn me once, you won't burn me again.
Facts.
Like I said, as much as I'm giving praise and a little shade here, I don't like this here, I still think it's a very good, nice looking game. And as I said, I am heavily looking forward to it. But hey, we'll see. It's a demo. It's no different than a trailer for a movie. It's supposed to bring you in, get you all excited. Let's see what it looks like fully out. When you take the hood off, lift the skirt up. Other than that, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and I want to point out too, quickly, and it'll be my last thing, and we'll move on. My cousin emphasizing about day ones. Listen, 2026 is a very crowded year throughout the year. Like it's like games coming out every month. This is truly like back in the day, growing up. Xbox 360, you having to pick which game you gonna buy because these games are expensive. So you can't buy 15 games, 16 games a year because you start doing the math. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. So yeah, it's a crowded year, and I'm not saying Pragmata won't make noise, it won't do good. We will have to wait and see. This is just first impressions. This is a demo, like my cousin said. So, but definitely
Ooh.
let us know how you feel in the comments down below. If you played a demo, what did you think? Do you share some of our concerns, and did you feel some of the things we felt while playing the demo? And did you have to get used to it and take some time to adjust because controls are very and the movement is very tailored to this experience. And like I said, this game is very kind of one of one. I really can't think of something else, at least not in recent time, that feels like Pragmata and made me feel and had me experience in the world and things. Cause too, and I said that was my last thing, but no, the world at times, while and I guess the conversation between you and the girl is so critical because you are pretty much alone for like stretches until you run into like enemies. So I really am curious about that in multiple hours of gameplay. Will I feel like the world? Well, no, because then they got the puzzles. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. Like I said, it's very eerie. It's very different. It definitely intrigued me from the demo. But like I said, let us know in the comments below how you feel and what you think, and we'll see you there.
I got one more. I got one. Make
Oh,
this real quick. You brought up that little girl, and I almost forgot. Your
God damn.
interactions and talkings with her, I really, really feel, and I kind of don't want them to do this,
Oh
but I
shit.
really feel they're gonna go with like a father male esque figure with him, and her being a little girl, and he'll develop
Oh
some type of
god.
feelings and protect her. I was getting that. I was like, hey, please don't do that. We had enough games do that.
But she's
Just
an
let them be what it is.
android.
She's an android. She's an android. But like you said, he's by himself. And I
Yeah.
remember when you took down that boss and he had his hand, he's like, oh, this is how we do high fives. And I'm like, why don't she know that? How's that not programmed in her?
I
That
mean,
was one.
AI is
Number
crazy,
two,
but
as my cousin stated about these games and expensive and everything, I want to throw a quick shout out. Hey, this ain't a $70 game. This is a $60 video game.
oh yeah,
In a
yeah, yeah.
time where money is tight and crowded and everything, hey, they said, hey
Shout
man,
out.
we want to make sure this sells. We ain't gonna be
Yeah.
greedy. What's $10?
Yeah.
What's $10?
Hey, shout out to them. Shout out for that. Yeah, because that's very, very important as we turn the calendar in 2026 and a lot of these games line up. This is very much a reasonable ice AAA game from Capcom as somebody with the long history of Capcom. So yeah, you definitely right on that.
Let us know how y'all think and feel.
All right, people. Xbox has a problem and it's getting harder to ignore because Obsidian, one of their biggest RPG studios, just had multiple games reportedly miss sales expectation. And that's wild, people. This is the team behind Fallout, New Vegas, Pillars of Eternity, and some of Xbox's most important upcoming projects. So the question becomes, how are these games not selling the way they should? And what does this mean for Xbox's entire Game Pass RPG feature going forward? Because this isn't just about Obsidian. This could be a bigger warning sign for Xbox. So let's talk about this. Here's why this is such a big deal. Obsidian is supposed to be one of Xbox's crown jewels, the studio that delivers the big, deep RPG experience that PlayStation, quote unquote, doesn't really focus on. But when you hear that titles like Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2 didn't hit sale targets, it raises a serious issue. Is it the games? Is it the marketing? Or is Game Pass changing how people actually buy Xbox quote unquote exclusives? Because if players assume everything would just be quote unquote free on subscription that you already pay a very hefty amount for, that could hurt the long-term value of these releases. Xbox needs these studios to be wins, not just critically, but commercially. This is happening at the exact same time Xbox is trying to prove it can compete with Sony's blockbuster machine release windows. So the real fallout is, if Obsidian can't break through with sales, what does that mean for Xbox strategy going forward? Is this just a bump in the road or the start of a much bigger problem? Let's talk about it. All right, so let me quickly recap. Obsidian confirmed that two of their recent RPG releases, Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2, did not meet sales expectations. This sparked headlines that the studio is not currently planning The Outer Worlds 3, despite the franchise being popular. Instead, they're focusing on other projects, including more works in the Avowed Pillar universe. Obsidian is quote unquote not in crisis. This is where word salad really starts coming through. They're still expanding, quote unquote. Important context, this is not layoffs or shutdown news. Obsidian still has multiple projects in development. They framed it as a learning moment, not a disaster. Word salad. PC Gamer even noted the studio's future still looks positive overall. Word salad. All right, so like I said, Obsidian missing sale expectation is a big red flag. No matter how you paint it or frame it, this is one of Xbox's most important RPG studios. If their games underperform, that's a serious issue. Like I said, Xbox needs Obsidian to be a system seller studio. Studios like Obsidian are supposed to deliver must-play exclusive that drives hype, subscription, and console value. Game Pass might be, it's hurting fucking sales. There's no way to get around the Game Pass issue. If players expect everything to drop on Game Pass, few people may actually buy these games outright. And honestly, as long as you're playing for Game Pass, why would you feel entitled to? Marketing plus hype might be breaking through. Even good RPGs can struggle if they don't feel like a major cultural moment or aren't marketing aggressively. But I don't think that was the case. These games were marketed. Let's not fool ourselves. Xbox has a whole marketing department. These raises bigger questions about Xbox strategy. Like I said, even top studios aren't selling in 2026. What does that say about Xbox long-term plan compared to Sony's blockbuster exclusive approach? Fallout. What happens next for Obsidian? Do they shift focus, change project scopes, double down on sequels? This could impact the future RPG output from the studio. So I'll turn it over to my cousin and he can give his opinion. But I am very concerned. I just want to point out that this is one of many studios that Xbox back in the day, when they just had what felt like unlimited big dick daddy money, went out and bought at, I feel and still feel, and it's coming clearer and clearer every day, that they bought at the top of the market and overpaid for a lot of these studios. I'm looking at you, Bethesda, because it is not saying Obsidian is anything like Bethesda that is a dumpster fire entire trash can. Fuck Tom and everything he stands for at the moment because he does nothing but lie to developers. But I'm just saying, Xbox, all of these purchases, even their indie studios in 2026, is just not panning out. And like I said, I feel like Microsoft came to Xbox like, hey, you motherfuckers' jobs are on the line and y'all need to get in the black. And I say quick, fast, and in a hurry. And we talking about right now. So this is not good. But at the same breath that I say that, I don't know what Microsoft or Xbox expect with Game Pass. I already said I feel like they are losing money on Game Pass, quote unquote. That's why the price increase happens, and there is rumors that another increase will happen. But I just don't understand how they can say this and have these headlines about, but this is their strategy. So you kind of kill the product on arrival. So I don't know, but I'll turn it over to my cousin so he can give his 2 cents.
There's a lot more to digest in this news than just 2 games underperforming. We're going to say that in air quotes. And I'm going to break it down, but I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. So, for one, Avowed was not the promised game we were sold. When Avowed was originally shown off, it was dark, it was gritty, dark fantasy. They were touting similar as to Skyrim, and the product that came out was this bright starburst color rainbow flag looking fucking thing with weird kind of drag queen makeup with the godlike thing, whatever they have on it. That was not what we were promised and sold. It is well known that Avowed had development problems. The story was shifted and rebooted once or 2 times. That's problematic. That's one. Outer Worlds 2. People enjoy the first Outer Worlds. I enjoyed it. Obsidian is seen as the quintessential RPG darling. That's what they're good at. They make RPG games, and their games have not always been on such a grand scale. They've kind of been, before Microsoft bought them, more of an indie-ish, more of a niche type of RPG developer. And Microsoft bought them, and they had, I won't say unlimited funds at their resources, because people have come out and said, it is not like that. You just have to kind of ask and see how things go, and you'll get what you need. But it seems that when Obsidian was purchased by Microsoft, and Microsoft has had this problem, not just with Obsidian, but with all their studios, they're very lackadaisy. They're very hands off. Every studio has reported the same thing. It is a lack of support, a lack of real concrete leadership, and things just kind of fumble in turmoil until someone finally comes in and be like, hey, the fuck are you kids doing? They made a lot of course correction. They made a lot of course correction with the Outer Worlds 2 from the first one. People felt its story, how they went about it, was kind of weird, how that was the satire you tried to go with, the corporation overtaking, etc. When it's like, okay, is that not where Microsoft is to you guys? Being bought out, etc. That's one of the issues, Microsoft and how they handle things, and even studio development handle. That's problem number one.
Yeah.
Then part 2 of this issue is Microsoft has forgoed physical games. I believe Avowed had a physical case, and it was a code inside of it. Even though digital is such a huge thing, even though rise and percentages of people purchasing their games digitally continues to go up year after year, there is still a segment. There's still a segment of gamers who prefer and want their games physical. And even though they'll say like, oh, it's just 15%, it's 20 Infamous. Okay, that 20%, the percent numbers sounds low, but that's millions of gamers that you are leaving money on the table by choosing not to release it physically. Even though, and then someone may argue, I'm sure someone will argue in the comments, well, it's released on PlayStation. Why don't PlayStation gamers buy it? Why don't they buy it and help support someone? Okay, again, yes, they don't have, PlayStation gamers don't have Game Pass. It is still a non-physical game. I know people. I know hardcore people who will not buy a non-physical game, or they'll wait till it's so significantly cheap on sale because of shit like this. It went bad in performance, so now it's $15. Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and buy it now, because people want ownership. They want to own their games, even though you may say, oh, it's not ownership. Okay, we're not here to argue that, but there are people who are very fanatic about that, because on the Xbox platform, you buy a digital game, they force you to take the update for it. when it comes
Yeah.
out. Microsoft's platform will not allow you to launch a game and there's an update for it unless you just take the console off fucking line. So that means no game chat, no playing around, your achievements don't unlock, all that. All right, now you kick it over to PlayStation. Okay, yeah, you could purchase it digitally, etc. But at the same time, hey, it's digital. You don't own that. It's a license. That is problematic.
Mhm.
And while people will argue, give it the times, old man, grandpa, hey, I'm telling you the truth. It's the reason why a few years ago, get off subject here real quick, Capcom in I think it was a sales financial call or whatnot, they were talking about how their games physically, the segment for it is dwindling. You know, more and more people buying this, but it was like, hey, we will not leave that market behind because they're still buying games. They're still buying games. You are still making money, even if it's just 50 million to the hundreds of million you made digitally. Hey, that's still money in your
On
pocket
Yep.
that Microsoft is refusing to cater to. It's baffling because people will say, "Oh, you know how much money it takes for the disc, etc." My guy, it takes pennies on a dollar to make a Blu-ray disc, and
Yeah,
Microsoft is
they
just being lazy. But Microsoft, hey, you know what? We're gonna eliminate that. There's no fucking physical release at all. They continuously believe that if we just circumvent all this shit and push Game Pass, oh, you know, we'll get their money. Well, consumers and gamers have spoke out loud. They don't want to be charged $30 every fucking month. They left in droves. I know a buddy right now who, for the holiday, he was like, hey, buy me a month of Game Pass. I'm gonna go on vacation for 2 weeks. You know, I'm gonna catch up and do my thing and cancel it. And then there's even a so-called hack where if you cancel your Game Pass early enough, they refund you the fucking money. So you got both games and played them for free.
damn.
This is a
What the fuck
huge,
is that?
yes, it is a huge gross misoversight. They met. I don't know if Microsoft caught on to that yet. You know, don't quote me. I'm telling you what I was told. But that is a huge gross misoversight. And Microsoft, they just don't care. They're just like, hey, you know, we're a publisher now. Our product goes everywhere because we want everyone to buy and play it. Hey, that's fine. Then cater to all audiences. I'm going to squash this myth right here before we move this on. Because there's going to be someone who says, oh, PlayStation games, you know, it's just a license key and you have to download them. That's fucking wrong. That's false. That is a false media narrative. And you can look the numbers up. Over 90% of PS5 games are all on the disc. There is a website called, I think, Does It Play? They break down games based off of whether it is all on the disc or you need an update. And I'm telling you now, PlayStation games on disc are all there. Majority of them, you don't need an internet connection to play. You don't need an update. Do not listen to the narrative of all the discs, they're just disc keys. No, they're telling you that to make you buy it digitally so that they control it. Hell, you're gonna hear me say some shit that's controversial. It is fucking Nintendo makes physical games. They make their shit physical on the fucking cart. You know why? Because even though Nintendo is greedy, don't give a shit, and is nostalgic, money hungry hustlers, hey, they know there's money out there, and someone is gonna spend it if we put our games all on the cart. That's why they're underperforming. I also want to add this last thing. We can move this on. I believe it's by Obsidian's own metrics they feel these games have underperformed.
Mm.
And that's on them. Also, want to add Avowed launched only on Xbox. So that was them hurting themselves. It is now, I believe, about to launch on PlayStation. So maybe they can catch up on some of the sales they lost. You put it on only on Xbox, it's physical. I mean, there is no physical release, it's digital only, and it's on Game Pass. Hardcore Xbox fans, the real hardcore who will buy that next gen Xbox for a ride or die, fuck Sony ponies. They have Game Pass. They will not purchase. Why would they spend $30 a month for access to the game and then go spend $70 to buy it? It's absurd. And it ain't happening. So
Math don't
it's
math.
sad to hear. Yeah, the math don't matter. And it's sad to hear this because I was happy that they made Outer Worlds 2. They gave you a third person option. I don't know what the fuck this obsession shit is with first person RPGs. Like, I don't get it. But it's sad it won't be an Outer Worlds 3. But hey, you know, they were purchased to feed Game Pass, and that's what they're doing. So, oh well.
And my cousin is exactly right, and we're kind of it's the same tug on the same issue. Like I said, I don't think Game Pass has ever been profitable. I just don't know what you expect. Why would you think somebody that spends money on Game Pass would ever then go buy these games outright? Like that's the whole point in the dream that you sold. So I just don't understand what Microsoft, Xbox, and Obsidian expected the numbers to be, quite honestly. And like I said, I feel like Xbox has bought a lot of these studios at the top of the market, overpaid, and
What the fuck?
that's kind of how they sitting on this shit, and it's not bringing the return, and they getting a lot of pressure from Big Daddy, who bank account has closed up, and I think they're really facing the facts that
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
like, I think that is what Xbox and Microsoft is facing in 2026 with the Game Pass in these studios. Like I said, Bethesda is a fucking trash can studio. Fuck Tom, fuck everything they stand for. Now, I'm not saying Obsidian has been moving nasty or moving dirty, but I just, like my cousin said, I feel like, and this is not a Bethesda topic, but everybody has questioned why hasn't Microsoft and Xbox have been more hands-on with these studios? Like, they bought these studios and they kind of told them, hey, everything you was doing before, keep doing it and just make us money and we'll see you in 5 years. I just don't, no, not with this Game Pass strategy. When you bought these studios, you only told them, hey, make these games for us, and our only requirement is that they have to go on Game Pass day one. And that's why the whole Call of Duty Activision shit is crazy. Like, and the owner or the previous maker, whoever did, like, high executive, he was like, bro, we're losing so much money putting this shit out on Game Pass day one. What are you're cannibalizing the product. So I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna just end it like this. I don't know what Microsoft, Xbox, or Obsidian expected. I don't know what numbers or why they even put high volume sales out. Why would you dig that hole? And I just don't understand. And maybe somebody can get in the comics and maybe shed some light on some aspects we don't know and we didn't cover. But let me just leave you with this. Is this just Obsidian having a rough patch right now, a rough launch, and kind of taking some unexpected L's that's really not their fault at the end of the day? Or is Xbox entire model starting to crack at the seams before our very eyes with this whole Game Pass debacle that is a debacle that's not profitable at the end of the day? Let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you there. Oh, this Highguard topic is anyway. All right, listen. Let me just get through the intro. Highguard might be one of the fastest game collapses we've ever seen in gaming history. And gaming history has been around multiple decades. Now, I'm not saying that to be dramatic or being one of these little clickbait like podcasts and game coverage, but I'm just saying the start to where we at now happened very, very quickly. This game launched, barely had time to breathe, and already we're hearing about poor sales, backlash, and developers being laid off just days later after launch. We're talking 16 days, people. In the span of a paycheck, these people were laid off from the launch of this game. That's not a rough launch. That's a full-on implosion. So what happened here? How does a game go from release to Fallout this fucking fast? Because this isn't just a Highguard problem. This is becoming a warning sign for the entire gaming industry. So here's what makes the Highguard situation so crazy. We've seen games struggle at launch before. Missed reviews, slow sales. That happens. That is very normal in 2026 gaming landscape. But Highguard collapsing this quickly is on another level completely. When a game underperforms so badly that layoffs happen within weeks, it shows how brutal the modern gaming industry has become. Games don't get time to grow anymore. If you explode on day one, publishers start panicking, investors start panicking, and the people who pay the price ultimately are the developers. That's what makes this story bigger than just a one-off headline or a one-off title or a throwaway headline. It's about how unstable the business is right now in gaming, where one bad launch can immediately become a studio crisis. That's why the Obsidian headline is not nothing to just glance over to. So the real question is, was Highguard doomed from the start, from how its rollout came at the Game Awards being the closeout show? Or is this just the latest example of the industry expecting instant success or nothing? nothing at all. Let's break it down. All right, I'm going to just go some main viewpoints, and I'm going to turn it over to my cousin. Number one, big hype reveal at the Game Awards. Highguard was showcased as the final surprise reveal at the Game Awards at 2025. A spot usually for major titles, generating major visibility and expectations. Launch reception was upon release January 26th of 2026, the free-to-play PvP shooter drew mixed to mostly negative reviews, and that's saying that very lightly. Especially on Steam, with many players citing bugs, balance issues, and lack of content. Free-to-play games cannot lack content on release. You're just not going to survive in this landscape right now. The game peaked at around 97,000 concurrent players on Steam at launch, but then dropped quickly, with active counts falling into the low thousands shortly after. Rapid player decline and visibility drop. Highguard quickly fell out of Steam's top 200 bestsellers, a clear sign the launch momentum disappeared instantly. Major layoffs weeks after launch. Just about 2 weeks after launch, Wildlight Entertainment announced mass layoffs, letting go most of its staff, with only a core group remaining to support the game's future. If there's a future even at this point. Multiple reports confirmed the layoffs were significant, with developers publicly sharing that they were affected. Mixed developer response to backlash. Some developers criticize online negativity, this word that goes throughout the industry. Consumers massively show, hey, your game is fucked up and we don't fuck with it, called rage bait. Content for contributing to Highguard's challenges, claiming the game was mocked early and never recovered. Community and industry reaction. Fans and commentators noted that while Highguard attracted high initial player counts, retention was poor. Many players dropped the game quickly, and you cannot say those words in a free-to-play game in 2026. It's just too much competition out there. To wrap up all my points, Highguard launched to high visibility after the Game Awards, and I think it kind of set itself up for failure. That was probably a terrible decision. Hindsight is 2020, but after the mixed reception and rapid drop in player numbers, the developer layoffs, and most of its staff just weeks later, the situation has become major talking points around the industry on how multiplayer shooters must sustain strong early momentum or risk shifts of fallout. And this is just another prime example, and this is not Arc Raiders topic, but the success of Arc Raiders is truly lightning in a bottle. Not every game, especially that charges $40, can do what Arc Raiders done. And that's why Arc Raiders really is one of a kind. You cannot expect that from every game like that. So you really gotta put and give the makers of Arc Raiders in a higher regard, I think, than what we've been giving them, because as we see with Highguard and all the fallout that, like I said, it's only been January 26th. We're recording this February 13th, like two weeks ago. Like, how can a game completely fall off a cliff? But like I said, lack of content and all that, you cannot say that in a free-to-play game in 2026. The competition is too scarce. It's too much money on the line. People attention spans and the amount of free-to-play games, Fortnite and all this other stuff, it's just too much other stuff. You cannot come bullshitting at launch. You have to come correct or you're going to fail. Your product is dead on arrival. But that's all I got to say on this matter. It's a crazy topic and it's been going around everywhere on all type of platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. But I'll let my cousin give his 2 cents now.
Yeah, so this should not really be any type of surprise. Anyone who pays attention to anything we report or anything in the gaming industry right now. Let's be honest. Gamers in droves have said it out loud. They do not care for the live service slop. They do not care for every little nickel and diming. And while my cousin brings up a point of Arc Raiders lightning in a bottle and etc., Arc Raiders is $40 and it's having tremendous success. This game was free and it's failing. So what does that tell you? That means you can give it away and people do not want it. But people are tired of the live service, the nickel and diming, the
shenanigans.
Don't play now, but you're gonna pay so much later. The online connectivity, drip feeding, people just don't want to deal with that anymore. And I understand it, because neither do I.
Yeah.
I said it beforehand when this was shown off. Hey, this stinks. The successes of previous live service endeavors, hey, those were the flukes. Those were the first two to get it, and those are the last. You have to truly come correct and come with something unique in a sense. And they're not doing that. What did they say when they announced this? Oh, people who made Apex Legends. Okay, well, there are people who already played and done that. Had their fun
Yeah.
and moved on. Why would they try you out? Your gameplay was nothing new, nothing truly outstanding. It's a first-person shooter. There are a dime a dozen first-person shooter-ass games. Ooh, you added a horse. No one cares.
A bear.
Nothing special. It truly was nothing special. And then on top of that, you took a very coveted time slot in the Game Awards, the last game shown of the one last thing. And it was that, a free-to-play, quote-unquote, raid shooter. What the hell is a raid shooter? Everyone's wondering what the hell was going on. And then rather than you trying to save face and explain yourself, you all went quiet. You went media blackout. Didn't say anything, didn't course correct. You let the naysayers and the quote unquote negativity double down and paint the narrative for you. Well, by the time it came out, people were like, And then on top of that, you wanted to tote your accolades so high. And then you fumbled the ball. 3v3, lacking content, bugs and glitches. The time is over for a launch now, fix later. People are tired of, even for a free game, people are tired of that. And even though it is free, no one's about to sit up here and play this, entertain you, give you money, and wait for you to get your act together and launch content for the fucking game. That's not happening either. The time is now. People are tired and done with it. I want to add this too. This also comes on the heels of another live service S game failing as well. 2X KO, live service S fighting game. They're laying people off in droves, having to try to compensate and save face for their live service. For people don't want it. Destiny is failing. Apex Legends is shuttering and shutting down. The only creme de la creme king still toting high is Fortnite. And you all need to let dream go. You will not upstage, replace, or take anything from Fortnite players. Because you know why? They've played it too long. They've invested their time, money into it, especially with those fucking skins. And another free-to-play game with nothing behind it, with nothing devs, no offense, making it is going to replace that. You're in too big of an ocean to try to do whatever, and it's just not happening. It's not happening. People don't want this shit. People want narrative-driven stories. They want co-op playing with their friends. They want a definitive beginning and ending, period. Not to be nickel and dimed every 90 days or when you so-called see fit for it. That time has come and gone. And even though there'll be someone in the comments who want to argue it, who wants to say, hey, but what about this? I'm telling you, even the so-called Destiny, the true live service example of success, even they're failing. Their player numbers dwindling. They are not what they used to be. People are getting off the roller coaster. They're not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore. It has come to an end. College is over. Y'all have to grow up. Damn, I sound like a parent. But that's what's happening. Every gaming, every genre has their era. There was the dude bro era, co-op era, the first person shooter. When Call of Duty first exploded, every motherfucker who had money was trying to make a first person military X shooter to get in on that pie. Call of Duty is struggling to stay relevant. This was the so-called juggernaut game that could never fail. Shit. Guess what? It's failing. Not failed, but it's failing. Highguard, I don't mean any harm or any dev to lose their job, etc. But you all need to stop chasing this feeble dream. Let it go. Stop being lazy trying to make half-assed products. They're like, oh, we're going to make $1 billion on this. That's not how that works. You make the product, the consumer judges its success and make it what it's into. Hell, one last segment to go off of, even Overwatch had to fully course correct to take the 2 off and go straight back to regular Overwatch. And now their numbers are going up because people are like, hell yeah, we're going back to the good times. There are already established avenues for this. You're too little, too late. Then you're looking at the artwork. Hey, it's a motherfucker with a gun and a bear
and a sword.
This is
and
supposed to be a
horse.
shooter? This sounds like some shit with elves and orcs. What are you guys doing? So I'm not surprised. And at the same point, I don't care because I don't play this shit. And I know everyone's like, Infamous, you're walling the Solax. Not for this shit. Not for online connected. Can't control what's going on. Will constantly need updates and they control what it. Nope, not happening. My heart goes out to the devs in this economy. I don't want people losing their jobs. I truly don't. I don't wish that on anybody. But at the same time, hey, someone somewhere in that office should have been like, hey man, how much shit on the market is like this? And you try to be cute, resting with your friends, doing a goddamn raid, even though Destiny was a shooter and they had quote unquote raids, etc. You're not them. You're not them. You're not that guy. But that's all I got.
When Sony PlayStation, who is very meticulous about their exclusives, said, hey, we have 5 free-to-play, whatever, setup, and they spent millions on those games, and they came to the realization that
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
they looked on the landscape and was like, yo, these motherfucking products are already not returning value, and we have 5 in the pipeline? Scrap it. Millions spent, a lot of devs, they had to reshuffle and repurpose them, and I think some of those people got laid off too. You don't hear that from Sony a lot. And that was years ago. And Highguard is coming in 2026 with lack of content? I don't know. Listen, you know how you're the worker bee in your job, because at the end of the day, you work a job. And the higher ups just sound delusional. Baby, if I was on the developer team, I would have been interviewing because I would have knew this product is dead on arrival. And I'm not saying or condoning mass layoffs, but sometimes when you see the crash coming, baby, you gotta jump off the fucking train. If I was one of the developers and I saw this shit and we about to come in 2026 with the landscape, and like my cousin said, some of the high Destinies and Overwatch and Apex Legends, they're already struggling. The only one that's printing money and making record profits is fucking Fortnite. Like, let's not be delusional. We have to be very, very practical and realistic in 2026. And like I said in the other topic, you cannot come and fuck up. There is no more room for a No Man's Sky redemption story. That shit is a wrap. It's too much money on the line. These games cost too much money for the consumers. Consumers are already stressed out from day to day paying their rent and paying their mortgage. They mortgage going up every fucking year. You think they got time to give you little money on Highguard? Nah, bruh. So I'm very, like I said, it's unfortunate the mass layoffs and even the other games that my cousin point out, but you gotta be practical in 2026. Like, these games are not bringing the return, and it's a very unfortunate story, but I do want to ask my cousin a quick question. Which is going to be probably viewed as bigger failure, Highguard or Concord?
People will probably say Concord because its history is well documented. We know the money and price point on it, and it came from such a high caliber company. I'm sorry. Had a brain fog. It came from Sony. It's coming from PlayStation. Highguard, this was coming from some devs from all over who said, we're going to leave here. We're going to start our own thing, etc. And it was free to play. Concord, it was well documented. Me personally, I think Concord was 11 days or 14 days, 2 weeks, whatever the hell they want to call it. They rounded up. This was 16 days. It's the same fucking thing. The only difference is only turncoat, dry, left tab between legs, and rolled out. Yeah. This shit, they're trying to roll along with it. They're trying to, we can fix this. There was already talks about like them putting an update, make it 5v5, and it's like, no, that ship has sailed.
That's not going to fix it.
It's too late, baby. It's too late. Like they're gone. They are gone. You gotta let it go because that's the reality of free to play. Hey, the barrier of entry is so low. All you gotta do is try it, not like it. All right, I'm out. Uninstall. They ain't got to put money into it. What made the Concord situation so much bigger than what it was the fact that, yeah, you did have to put money into it. A lot of people bought it digitally that Sony was like, hey, fuck this.
The
Refund
refunds was
everybody.
crazy.
The only people who didn't get the refunds was the people who wanted to hold on to it for whatever fucking reason, and now are trying to sell the controllers for fucking $400 and the disc for like $200.
Retro gaming is getting kind of crazy.
I would still say people will look at Concords as the biggest because like I said, it came from Sony. It came from, you know, the heavy hit, the big boys.
And the price tag was just, I feel like they was laundering
that
money
price tag was
because,
astronomical.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't spend that on Highguard, but still, Concord was a lesson learned so how many years ago? And Highguard came with this foolishness in 2020. I just can't get over that.
And see, that's another thing. The delusion. Because when you are sitting up here and you see what's going on, you see the narrative, for whatever reason, you're like, it won't be our game.
Okay, yeah.
It won't be our game.
Yeah,
we're going to do better than them.
Yeah, you won't be
And
10 days, you'll be
just like,
16
hey.
days.
And you're just sitting there like, hey, man, yo, that game failed, and it came from a major publisher. It came from a multi-billion-dollar corporation that's well-known with abundant resources, and we're kind of piecemealing this. You know, maybe we should, no, Phil, you know, they don't have the passion into it. They try to make something that everybody else made. We're making something different. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, that's why it's a raid shooter, not a first-person shooter, even though it's in first person. And then I'm pretty sure someone truly believed because we're not charging, they'll come in droves.
No.
And this is another problem with the live service sector. They are trying to use mobile game tactics in the console and the PC space.
All right,
mobile gamers,
Diablo.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Mobile gamers are some different.
Yeah, they
some
built
different type of motherfuckers.
Them ain't gamers. They were like others.
Yeah, they're not really gamers. They're watchers. They're the guys that come to the park not to play football. They're just there to watch you play football. You know, they enjoy the aspect. It looks great. That thing. Hey, Carl, you want to play? Oh, I want to get my hands dirty. What?
All right. Why are you here?
But mobile gamers are accustomed to being nickel and dimed because that's just how it is. I can give you a quick story time. When Nintendo was getting into the mobile market, the first game they were launching was some Mario game. It looked great. There was a demo. In their press release, they said the game was going to be released on mobile. It was going to be $10. Everybody was like, what? Whoa, what the fuck? Hey, whoa, hold on. $10? And everyone was telling Nintendo that they were crazy because mobile games do not launch at a price like that. Nintendo was like, man, fuck you. It's Mario. Everybody gonna buy this. The game launched, sold a little bit. It didn't sell to Nintendo standard. It was a lesson learned because people told them, hey, the mobile market is used to shit being free. They download it and play it.
They stand on
slowly
business.
nickel and dime them. $1 here, $2 there, a timer, $3, etc. Recharge timers and all this. Nintendo's like, no, we don't do that. You know, that's kind of scummy, etc. And they're like, well, that's what the fuck the mobile market is. And then they sunsetted that game eventually, and then they got in bed with some other partners and let them do it. And then they started releasing gacha games and etc. That's how the mobile market is. And no one bats an eye because that is the mobile market. That's how the mobile market is made. But then a little company called EA decided, hey, let's take these mobile-s things and let's put them in AAA games. And here we are now.
The destruction
Console
of the industry.
players, PC players, we're not stupid. You will not nickel and dime us as you do the mobile market. And as many failures that there are, you still see people trying. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Failed tremendously. You know what WB said? Hey, we're going to double down on live service games. You know, we're going to keep going at this. Well, we also know why they're doing it, but even still, for whatever reason, these companies just keep thinking, oh, if we try harder, we do better, we can get some of that money. No one is going to upstage Fortnite. Just as nothing has or will upstage Madden. You have your certain games that will just be, I don't want to say creme de la creme because Madden ain't shit, who are just the top of their caliber in that particular sector. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, it ain't no close second.
It's not. Even Destiny is falling because they got too goddamn greedy. They lost sight of what they were originally trying to do with that franchise. And I remember even at one point they were saying, hey, we're not working on thinking about a Destiny 3. Because why? Because, Destiny 2, blah, 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 so. Now you hear talk like, oh, Destiny 3 is rumored because they feel like, we put out another product and we make people's progress reset back to zero. They'll come back. And then we can start the piecemealing and the charging of and nickel and diming everything over again. I highly doubt it. Doubtful. People are tired of this shit. But as I said before, I feel sorry for the devs who were let go. I hope you all find your footing somewhere else, but the industry as a whole needs to see this for what it is. As my cousin said, Sony, they had 12 live service projects in the works.
Crazy.
I think two or three of them came out. So I can't remember what the fuck it was that happened. That woke them up and was like, this shit ain't making no money. Hey man, how many of these you working on? Yeah, we got at least over a half a dozen. I'm sorry, hey, cut this shit off. Hey, turn the lights off. Pull the plug. Hey, shut all this shit down so we can write this shit up off on our taxes, get this money back. Even though two of them, I would have liked to see how they would have gone, but it would have just been same bullshit. The Spider-Man live service game. Hey, it looked cool. It sounded great. But think of it realistically. Every Spider-Man suit under the sun, from the comic books to shit that they make on their own, they would have charged you for it. And we ain't talking no $1, $2, $3 here. That shit probably been like $5, $10. The most famous suit that everyone loves, Venom Black Symbiote suit. I bet you they were like, hey man, that suit $20. If it ain't $20, you gotta buy something and it'll come with it. Like I said, sorry, I ain't sorry, but hopefully these companies get it together. We don't want this shit, so stop trying to give it.
Like I said, gaming in 2026 is getting more and more cutthroat. The numbers is just not math, and you cannot come to the market and just think the consumer is just going to take slop. There is no more room for a No Man's Sky experience in gaming in 2026, in my opinion. And that's just how I feel. And the market has shown, and the consumers have voiced their opinion, and it really aligns with that statement. So Highguard, at the end of the day, it is embarrassing because somebody spent money on this. Somebody greenlit and really thought this was gonna work, and that's just crazy once you look at the product at the end of the day. But let me leave this to you, the viewers. This is kind of being long, drawn out, but this is really crazy and a real big stain in the start of a very promising year of gaming in 2026. But is Highguard collapse is just one game failing, or proof that the gaming industry has become so brutal that if you don't win instantly, you don't survive at all? So leave your comments, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we'll see you there, because I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of opinions about this Highguard fiasco. Yo, all right, listen, hold up, because this is a big one, people. This rumor is blowing up right now. FireRed LeafGreen might be coming to Switch. Yes, FireRed LeafGreen might be coming to Switch. And if Nintendo actually brings back one of the most beloved Pokemon remakes ever, this could instantly become one of the biggest nostalgia wins of the entire Switch 2 era, even though the Switch 2 is just beginning. And yes, we all know Nintendo is the king on selling nostalgia, so this is a big statement. But let's be real, people have been begging for classic Pokemon to return in a real way. Not just cheap ports, but something that feels like a true celebration. The question is Nintendo about to drop the ultimate Gen 1 comeback? Or is this rumor too good to be true? Here's why this rumor has Pokemon fans losing their mind. FireRed LeafGreen are still considered some of the best remake Pokemon game ever done. They're pure Gen 1 nostalgia, but polished, iconic, and timeless. With Switch 2 coming on strong, Nintendo needs massive system selling moments. So imagine the hype if they announce classic Kanto returns, upgraded visuals, modern features, maybe even connectivity with new Pokemon titles. It would be perfect way to pull older fans back in and introduce new players to the originals. But at the same time, Nintendo has a history of doing the bare minimum with legacy content. Let's all be honest here. Nintendo fans. So the big fear is this going to be a real remake or just another overpriced re-release? Either way, if FireRed and LeafGreen are truly coming to the Switch 2, that could be one of Nintendo's biggest nostalgia plays ever. And like I said, Nintendo's the king of nostalgia, so that is a big statement. So the real question is, are we about to witness Gen 1 ultimate return, or are fans setting themselves up for disappointment yet again? Let's talk about it. All right, so let's run through the major points in this rumor. And I want to say rumor, all right? Let me put that in quotation marks, okay? Rumor. Multiple leakers claim FireRed and LeafGreen will return. Rumors from known community leakers like Ryder Q, really, whatever his name is, suggest that Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen will re-release soon, possibly for the Switch 2 as part of the franchise 30th anniversary celebrations, expected around Pokemon Day 2026 on February 27th. I don't know about that. That's kind of crazy because that's very soon. Details are still unclear. Port versus remake. It is not yet known whether this would be simple ports or, immaculate release. We don't know. Standalone pay games on the eShop or full remakes. Some rumors claim they won't be Nintendo Switch Online freebies. Of course. Like, who are we kidding with Nintendo? And instead will be paid eShop titles. Possible Pokemon Home compatibility. Part of the leak chatter is that these re-releases might include Pokemon Home support, letting players move their Pokemon from these classic games into modern titles, a feature many fans have been hoping and fucking wishing for a long time. Fans mixed on the rumor. While nostalgia is driving excitement, which, like I said, Nintendo and nostalgia, I mean, you can't say one without the other. Some fans online are skeptical, rightfully so, pointing out that the classic remakes or ports might come at a cost and questioning whether Nintendo might choose other legacy titles first. Pokemon Day, February 27th, is likely reveal window. With the 30th anniversary approaching, most outlets expect these rumors to either be confirmed or refuted during the Pokemon Day live stream event on February 27th, 2026, the franchise annual showcase for major announcements. So, just to wrap up everything, leakers claim Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, prominent game. I mean, like I said, there are remakes of the original. May be returning for the Switch 2 around the Pokemon Day 2026. I think they'll be announced, not released. That's kind of crazy. Possibility as paid Switch eShop titles with Pokemon Home support, but nothing is officially confirmed, and I want to continue to say these are rumors. Nothing is confirmed. You will have to wait to the day of the announcement of February 27th, which is, as of today, like 16 days away. So very soon as we push this video out. But Infamous, what do you make of this rumor? And like I said, I keep asking you every time we talk about these rumors and Nintendo and Switch, would this drive you to buy a Switch 2?
I'm gonna say this here. I'm gonna say it now. I'm part of the problem. Fuck y'all about Switch 2. Woo! Man, look here. Look here. I'm just get out the way before I break down my answer. I am what the Pokemon community calls a Gen 1er. Charizard, Dragonite, Gyarados, my true OG, Snorlax. I always catch and nickname Brolax. Hell yeah. Now, I'm gonna say this. When I heard of this and read the rumor, it said Switch's eShop.
Okay.
Nintendo would be dumb to just put this on Switch 2. The economy ain't there for you to force this on people to buy the Switch 2 for this. Now, a full Gen 10 reveal? That's a little different. There ain't no reason in hell this can't work on the original Switch.
Yeah, let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real. 2, I love you, Trees. You're fucking crazy. I can believe that this will come out on Pokemon Day. And the reason, I'm gonna explain to you why. Nintendo fans, this will be the first time I'm gonna give y'all some grace. I think it was a year or so ago, whenever the Metroid Prime Remastered came out, there was talk behind the scenes that Nintendo had that game developed, fully finished, and ready to go. But they sat on it. They sat on it for like a year or two, waiting for the perfect moment to release it to maximize its scope, discoverability, and profitability. I can wholeheartedly believe that this shit has been ready and done. And Nintendo's like, no, not now. Not with everything's going on.
Got the
even though
perfect
it'll
day.
sell. We wanted to sell at its maximum potential. And what better way? What better way for it to come out fucking Pokemon Day? Not be announced. Announced drums up attention. That don't guarantee sales. Let Pokemon Day air. They do a Nintendo Direct. And then right at the end, they're like, oh, yeah, remasters or ports, even if it's just a port of
Yeah, it's gonna
Pokemon Leaf
sell.
Green. Guess what? It's available right now. Motherfuckers will lose their mind. But not
Yeah.
only just that, they did something like this similar on the last anniversary. On 3DS, they allowed red, blue, gold, silver, and crystal
Woo!
released on the eShop. And then guess what? They're like, hey, not only are we going to give it back to you, but we're going to integrate it into Pokemon Bank and then eventually Pokemon Home. You can take Pokemon from Pokemon fucking Red and bring them all the way to the current gen Pokemon and keep and play them with you.
You talking
Motherfuckers
nasty
went,
now to Pokemon fans.
they,
Now you start saying you can
yes,
move. Woo!
people were wild. Even me. 'Cause I bought it. I bought Pokemon Red on my 3DS. I played it. I did the little glitch with the rare candies. And guess what? I made multiple Dragonites, Gyarados, and moved them in the bank and then moved them to my other games. So I can wholeheartedly believe this. This sounds like Nintendo's money-hungry, grubby little hands. I can see a Japanese dude in Nintendo office rubbing their hands like Birdman, like, hey man, the 27th, we're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
To get fucking,
That makes a lot of
everyone
sense.
on this floor is about to get a motherfucking raise. Everyone. I can wholeheartedly see this. And then not to mention, the rumor is it ain't just a re-release. Even if it's just a bare basic port of the game with just a few little tweaks here, it'll be integrated into Pokemon Home.
Yeah, that's the
You
big
talking about,
thing.
that's a big thing. And I don't know if you noticed, but as you said, Gen 1 is what started it. But if you talk in the Pokemon circles, everyone knows Gen 1 fans are the biggest fans. They are the most
that's
made
the
and most sought Pokemon.
that's the foundation of everything.
Yeah, you got your evolution lovers. You got the original starters Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, the Pokemon mascot, Pikachu, in the special edition yellow version. You got your Mew lovers, your Mewtwo lovers. Oh my god, don't get me started on Dragonite, the OG dragon, Aerodactyl. It's the Pokemon music. It's so much nostalgia in Gen 1. And like I said, you talking to a Gen 1er. Because no matter, I've played every Pokemon generation. Every single one I figured out. Hey, what Gen 1 Pokemon can I get my hands on? Get a Gyarados, get a Snorlax. Every single one of them. Even Pokemon Scarlet, once it fully opened up, you were able to trade and they added Pokemon. That first raid with the almighty Charizard, yo, I was in there. I was in there with two Japanese dudes and whoever that fourth guy was. We was in there struggling, getting our asses beat. Like, yo, why is this water Pokemon not working? Why is he beating them so bad? And then we finally caught it. Oh, I can believe this. I believe this. Now, what will sell this even more is if Nintendo don't get greedy. This port, this comes out, this should be no more than $20, $30. And I think 30 is pushing it. But they'll try to they'll try to say like, oh, we did this, we make these tweaks,
You
we
talk about a
updated it for Pokemon
company
Home.
that are selling games at $80. Stop fooling
Oh,
yourself.
just believe me, I know what I'm saying is crazy. But you got some people who protest and then they'll buy it anyways because Nintendo fans.
I
But
mean,
everything you read, I believe all of it. And like I said, I'm part of the problem. Now I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna rush out and go buy one instantly. But it'll be down the line, Father's Day, birthday. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can believe this. And if they truly do this, if they really do pull this off, if the rumors true that they actually are doing this and not some other game or something like that, it will make the sales go through the roof. Now, if it's on Switch 1 and 2, it's not gonna really move the needle on Switch 1. Everyone who wanted one has one. It's right under sales of the Nintendo DS. But Switch 2, let them just have one or two features for Switch 2 that ain't in the regular one.
enhanced version.
Yeah, something a little special. Like, hey, you got the Switch 2 version. Hey, we got this in it. I'm sorry, you got what? Some battle tower or a local play thing or whatever the hell they want to choose to use. It will sell. You will see Switch 2 numbers go up. And this will hold people over until the next Pokemon generation start, which will probably be later on in the year because we've heard rumors of Gen 10, but that's a story for another day. But that's my take on this for these. And we're saying it, people. I don't want to see this shit in the comments. We are saying this is a rumor.
Yeah, but this would be a big fucking deal. I think you saw me. I can really see Nintendo moving like that. Definitely Birdman hand movement. Yeah, and we all know we've seen the leaks and all the reports about how much Nintendo actually spends on their games. It is really not nothing crazy. So my cousin actually makes a lot of sense saying they could have been sitting on this for over a year and purposely positioned it, especially when they saw how Switch 2 numbers are kind of stagnating. This could be a really big boost and really could move the needle. Hopefully this is not just Switch 2, because that would probably piss a lot of people off. But I can, I definitely, I forget how powerful Gen 1 is in the Gen 1 following, because listen, this would be, like I said, this would be fire. I have no intentions of buying a Switch 2, but if this is on Switch 1, I'll blow the dust off my Switch 1 for this. I ain't gonna front. And you know, I'm a firm motherfucking protest. I'm in silent protest of not giving Nintendo any of my money, because I just don't believe in their movements and and how they do things. But listen, baby, I am a Gen 1er. I was there. I had red, gold, blue. Don't ask me why. Listen, it was just a statement to say you had one of those. FireRed LeafGreen. Yeah, I'll blow the dust. I'll blow the dust and power up my Switch 1. And I haven't turned my Switch 1 on in years. Yeah, yeah. This might bring me out. Bring them out like T.I. said, because I'm definitely coming out the woodworks for this right here. My cousin is absolutely right. But let me leave this to the viewers. If FireRed and LeafGreen really are coming to Switch, or Switch 1, Switch 2, whichever, is this Nintendo finally giving fans the classic Pokemon return they've been begging for, or just another overpaid nostalgia cash grab? Comment your opinions in the comment section down below. What is going on with Steam Deck OLED right now? Because people are reporting that the OLED models have basically vanished everywhere, sold out, hard to find, and suddenly demand feels way higher than anybody was expecting. And whenever Valve hardware starts disappearing like this, it immediately raises question: is this just a normal sellout, or is something bigger happening behind the scene? Because Steam Deck OLED doesn't just randomly vanish like this. So let's talk about what's really going on and what it could mean. Here's the breakdown as of today, of February 13th. Steam Deck OLED has been one of Valve's biggest wins. It's the best version of the deck, the one everybody wants, and it's basically become the go-to portable PC console. So when it suddenly sells out, there's a few major possibilities. First, demand is just exploding. More people are jumping into the handheld PC gaming than ever, and Valve can't keep up with demand. Second, supply could be tighter than expected in 2026. Hardware manufacturing is still unpredictable, and restocks don't always happen fast. But the third possibility is what gets people talking. Valve is always quiet. They move in silent, and then it's like, bam. So when stocks start disappearing, fans instantly wonder, are they preparing a new model, a price shift, or even the next step in Steam hardware? We don't have confirmation yet, but Steam Deck OLED selling out this hard shows one thing: Valve has something huge on their hands, one way or another. The real question: is this just a temporary shortage, or the first sign that Valve's next move is coming sooner than we think? Let's talk about it. Valve Steam Deck OLED 512GB priced at $718 or so. And the other Steam Deck OLED models, including the 1TB versions, have sold out in United States on Valve's official store. All configurations currently show out of stock with no restock estimated time frame. The older LCD model has already been discontinued, like we said in very couple of weeks ago video, and its remaining units are gone too. Regional variations, while US and some Asian markets, Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, are showing depleted inventories, Europe and select regions still report stocks available, though that too may not last long. Valve hasn't publicly commented on why the handhelds are suddenly unavailable, but why it may be happening. Speculation and industry analysts suggest several possibilities. Global memory and shortage supply issues. We all know the RAM crisis and whatever debacle you want to like name that. Right, rising component costs and storage tied to high AI demand are believed to be impacting the production of handheld devices like the Steam Deck OLED. This same component crunch is already affected Valve's other hardware plans, like we said in the previous videos, of the delays of their other hardware they were supposed to be pushing out, quote unquote, first quarter, first half, whatever the phrase and word seller they want to say. Some analysts and committee members are discussing whether this sellout could foreshadow a future price increase on the Steam Deck OLED when it returns, a potential production pause, or even a move towards a new hardware. I don't know about that, because I think we would have knew about that. Valve Steam Deck remains popular and has sold millions of units since 2022 launch, especially the OLED versions introduced in late 2023, making this development shift noteworthy if it continues. Valve has not confirmed that the Steam Deck OLED is discontinued, being replaced, or that the Steam Deck 2 is imminent. There is also no official word on a return date or inventory timeline, meaning buyers will be watching closely. And listen, anytime you got stuff like this, scalpers. I can already see it, and I can already see the ridiculous price that scalpers is going to price this product at. And like I said in the intro, portable PC consoles is really taking off, and where Valve was actually priced at a very reasonable price when you compare it to a lot of other things on the market. This is very, very, the timing just feels a little, a price increase may be imminent, honestly, but I'll turn it over to my cousin, really entrenched in, the Steam Deck ecosystem and all that, so I'll let him give his 2 cents, because he actually has both models, LCD and OLED, so I'll let him go.
Yeah, sad to say, I haven't found a way to get rid of the LCD model. I can say a few things off the bat. It's not a newer model, or Steam Deck 2, well, you want to call it. Valve has repeatedly said they have no interest in piecemealing consoles out every couple of years. They are waiting for true substantial bump in technology, and that has not come. I'm going to say what I truly believe it is, and I'm going to say this is my opinion and my speculation, but it's based on facts. As my cousin stated, the technology ecosystem is really fucked up right now. From the RAM apocalypse, GPUs, all that. And I believe this was foreshadowed with them stopping the LCD model. Somewhere along the lines, it's probably just too expensive or too not cost effective for them to make these. Because currently, it's only the US that's like this. It's only the US. It's not, they're sold out everywhere. They didn't say, hey, we're not making these, we're not doing this anymore. It's only the US. And you add on the RAM, GPU, the chip shortage, these companies gobbling up everything. Then you add the tariffs, these things, and ship them to the US. The numbers don't add up anymore for them to do this. And rather for them to come out and say anything, drawing more attention to themselves, which they already just drew attention with the quote unquote delaying of the Steam machine, they're just like, hey, we just sold out right now. And they're leaving it as that. I believe someone in their room was like, all right, we sell this for $550, we sell this for $650. At the current time, as handheld PCs are taking off, as Valve and other companies are truly trying to get into this ring of handheld gaming and give Nintendo a run for their money, Valve sits at the precipice, because not only is it Steam, the well-known, beloved PC platform, and if you want to call it this, the budget system, compared to the ROG, XBY Ally X, the MSI Claw, Lenovo Legion Go. A lot of these things are getting into the $1,000 price tag, where Steam was like, hey man, we got ours right here. And it's a little old in the tooth technology-wise. It's a little long in the tooth, but hey, still runs. And there's Steam OS built in. But now with all the way the economy, the global tech states have shifted, and they probably didn't care or say nothing before, because they probably had these things in droves in warehouses. But as the demand demand for handheld PC gaming has gone up, as the demand for people want to have this shit quote unquote on the go, and they were selling and selling, and someone was like, hey, we can't sell this shit at this price. Consumers are fed up with price increases. PS5, Series X, Switch 1, Switch 2 accessories. And Valve was probably like, hey, we can up the price, but then we'd be no better than everyone else. And right now, our competition, we have them by the balls by having our shit priced like this. Raising it up, we're no better, no different. And then they can pick the competitor. The competitor has more horsepower. Some competitors have better screens. Even though it's about the comfort, some people are more than happy to pay lack of the comfort and more of the horsepower. There's some games the Steam Deck can't play that these others can. And rather than looking at the numbers and we're like, hey, we can't sell this at $650, trying to find parts, piece it together, and then ship it here and pay American tariffs as well, so they're sold out the moment. That's what I believe. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. I have read articles. I've watched at least a dozen videos on people breaking this down, showing the I won't say evidence, showing hard proof backing up these theories, these numbers, because beforehand, before the handheld PC kind of exploded, you heard people talk about, oh, Steam Deck only sold 2 or 3 million. It's not a lot, etc., etc. I mean, that's a lot for Valve when they were the only mover and shaker on the market. And like I said, even with all these other options, the people's with people's wallets really getting tight right about now, people really looking at where and how far their money goes. This is not sponsored either, I am a huge believer. Hey, grab you a Steam Deck. Okay, the ROG Ally may do this, the Lenovo Go may do this, but right out the gate, the Steam Deck was made by them and it runs on their proprietary platform. Every other handheld, you need to kind of configure, do this, update a driver, etc. It works right out the box. Steam, there you go. With majority of games verified, tons of them playable. And then even ones that say unplayable, you work around it so easily. Nevertheless, I feel it's a cost-saving measure. They just don't have, it doesn't make sense for them to make these at the current market price where things are going. And rather than to up the price to where the 512 is probably 700 and the 1 terabyte is what, 850, 900, you, like I said, hey, you getting up close to that ROG Xbox Ally X. So that might be a reason why they have it priced at $1,000, knowing what the climate or whatnot was going to be. And they're like, hey, you buy it, you do, you buy it, you don't. Hey, it's there. Because no other handheld PC has gone up in price. No one has said like, hey, we're going to take this from this price to here. So I believe someone's like, hey, it makes sense to keep doing this right now. We're going to sell through what we got and we'll go from there. Hell, you just heard from Valve right now. They are still trying to navigate these turbulent waters to get their Steam machine out, which if you really want to get technical, that's the successor to the Steam Deck. What they say, it's 6-8 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. Yeah, you can't carry it with you around your house, but hey, whatever gaming rig setup you have with your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Switch, hey, you lay that bad boy right next to it. All they need to do is just get you in the ecosystem. Everything else will work out on its own. Even currently, right now as we speak, on Friday the 13th, there are Steam sales going on as we speak. That's all they need to do is get you in the ecosystem, but they got to do it their smart way, their way, not anybody else's. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, and like I said, Steam, Valve, whoever, they haven't commented or said anything. So it's all the speculation that's going around the gaming industry right now of what this could mean and what they could be planning in the background. So, I don't know. It's really anything is possible right now. Like, because even if they do a price increase, I mean, and they don't really change anything in the product, it still probably will be a better deal than a lot of these other handhelds on the market. And like you said, they just want you to get in their ecosystem. And once you're in the ecosystem, like they already have all these safe cost saving in the ecosystem. So really, even if they do a price increase, really how much more are you actually paying in the end compared to other portable PC handheld. So it's a very interesting topic. I'll be very, very interested in what is the true outcome of this sellout because, like I said, the timing does feel a little fishy because they just discontinued the LCD. Now the OLED is sold out in the US. I don't know. I'm a conspiracy theorist and I don't believe in coincidence. But let me leave this question for the viewers. Is this Steam Deck OLED sellout just a temporary shortage or the first sign that Valve is quietly preparing something bigger behind the scenes? Comment down in the comment section. Hey, we actually went through a lot of juicy topics this week. We cover a lot, from the Pragmata demo, the Obsidian fallout, the Highguard fiasco, FireRed LeafGreen remake probably announced in 2 weeks. Crazy. And now the Steam Deck OLED is sold out. Listen, this has been a crazy week in gaming, and we're just here to report the news and ask for your feedback. So definitely let us know in all the topics and all your viewpoints. And if you agree or disagree with the things we said on these topics this week, let us know in the comments down below. But like always, we'll be here same time, same place next week with more crazy news in gaming right now. 2026 for gaming is definitely shaping up to be a big, big year because of all the big news that is coming out with all the showcase and, directs and all that from Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. There is sure to be more failures like Highguard on the horizon. Fortunately, unfortunately, that's just the name of the game. But definitely comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see you same place, same time next week. Peace.
Game on. And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, are you not entertained?